FaZe AJ started casting spells on his opponents, and it worked. Has NRG's era of dominance come to an end? Today we'll be talking about this and a whole lot more about Rocket League and RLCS. My name is Anton, and you're watching This Week on Rocket League. This is of course the series where we take a look at all the crazy and stupid things that this game has had to offer during the past 7 days, and believe me, this game never fails to deliver.
Oh, good bump. We need it right here, though.
It's on.
Oh, why did he shoot it right at him?
It was turned away in the end. Base plan defense.
Oh, and now it's in your net.
Racing back now.
Why are you quiet? Why is he so... Base, what happened? Talk to me. Talk to me, Base. Base stream. Let me see his reaction real quick.
Wait, is he actually just staring at his monitor dead face?
Why are we still here? Just to suffer.
But now, let's check out the news from this week. You may have heard that PostClan had some massive drama this week, as OSM, Aim Punch, and 4 suddenly left the team. Now, I'm not gonna spend too much time on the drama, but I'm happy to say that on Monday, they released a joint statement explaining that there were just some communication issues, and that there is no bad blood between them. Even though OSM and the others won't be continuing to represent the clan, you can read the full statement from a link in the description. This beef lasted like a day. Very rare to see drama like this resolved so quickly, and they say Rocket League is a toxic community. But now let's have a look at the stupid shenanigans that is Rocket League Esports. The last round of regionals of the season started this week in the RLCS, and let's start with North America, which once again was bad crazy. NRG had to exceed all expectations if they wanted to have a shot at making the major this split, and it already wasn't looking promising as they went to match point against Acru after conceding an overtime goal in game 3. They then scored 2 overtime goals in the next 2 games to win the series and move on to the next round as the Spring Split Regional 3 Round 1 Uppers champions. Well, there was still a chance to make the major. They faced off against Complexity in the lower bracket, and after some inspirational words from Squishy facing elimination, NRG went up by 2 in the series, looking for a sweep. I get that you're testing out a new playstyle, but I think you should have gone with something else than Dignitas in the winter major. But with that, NRG are officially out of the spring major, and it's the end of an era, as Garrett Chi, who was the only player to have played at every RLCS LAN, will miss his first one since the beginning of the RLCS. For NRG, it was a sad day, as this is also the first time the org has failed to qualify for a LAN since they joined the RLCS. And in completely unrelated news, about 5,000 tickets for the London major have now come back on the market. Complexity lost to Sonics in the first round, which I guess really tilted them because they proceeded to absolutely destroy Shopify Rebellion in the next round, 21-2. They beat them so bad that they actually won 7 best of 5 series against them. They then ruined NRG's hopes and dreams after reverse sweeping them in the next round, and after that they moved on to face Oxygen, whose player Toasty had just come back from his graduation and was still wearing his graduation suit. High school was the only thing he was moving on from though, as they got absolutely stomped on by Complexity, who still had their dreams of making the major alive as they moved on to the next round. How do you expect to win 4 games when you don't even score 4 goals? Ghost Gaming were back to make a statement that they were still in... Well, making a lower bracket run would be an even bigger statement that they're still... You lost to a team called Randoms. They don't even know who they are. Illusion from Team Envy fell ill before the tournament and therefore couldn't compete. Everyone went crazy as Envy brought out their substitute Turbo Pulsa from the bench, and we all know how that went last time, and it was looking pretty great as they beat Oxygen in the first round and then moved on to absolutely obliterate version 1 by losing 3 in a row and being knocked down to the lower bracket. Oh wait. Envy then showed Ghost that they didn't even need to make roster changes to beat Randoms and moved on to face Acru, who gave them a good fight but ultimately lost in game 5. Envy then moved on to the next round where... What are you doing in the lower bracket? Team Envy was then slapped around by G2 and lost the series 4-1, ending their tournament. Space Station beats Shopify Rebellion with a sweep in the first round, and then Sonics in a series that included a 7-minute overtime. They then moved on to face off against version 1, and some of you might remember this disgusting act from Torment in the winter major. This time Torment wanted to redeem himself and actually respected the most sacred rule in Rocket League. Space Station won that game, but version 1 ultimately took the series in game 7 after this synchronized celebration in OT.
On version 1, passing play alive, and there it is!
Space Station then swept Complexity in the lower bracket and moved on to play against G2 in the lower bracket semifinals. And oh boy, was that crazy. G2 went up 3-0 in the series straight off the bat. Space Station then responded with 3 wins of their own, and attempting to complete the reverse sweep, they lost 4-2 in the last game. After this amazing goal that was too great to comprehend for even Johnny Boy himself.
We'll give them another chance. We'll give them another chance. Come on, somebody boom the ball. I want somebody to boom it.
The hopes and dreams of the
So that we can at least feel like we're watching Middle East Rocket League.
Space Station trying to do it.
G2 then moved on to play version 1 in the lower bracket finals, who had been dropped down by FaZe, who absolutely obliterated them. G2 won with a pretty comfortable 4-2 victory and moved on to the grand finals yet again, and this time they had to go for a bracket reset as they faced FaZe from the upper bracket. But now let's talk about FaZe, as they had one of the weirdest narratives we've seen in a regional in a long time. First, they got a pretty easy win over Pittsburgh Knights in the first round. They then crushed NRG's hopes and dreams as they beat them 3-1. AJ then went to celebrate on Twitter, where a select few NRG fans started guilt-tripping him for being happy about winning. It's a sport. Imagine going to Matthew Stafford after the Super Bowl and be like, "How dare you be happy about this? You have to be depressed that the Bengals didn't win." Obviously, these were just a couple vocal fans raging on Twitter, and they don't represent NRG fans as a whole, but I just find it hilarious that these people are actually trying to make AJ feel bad about winning a Rocket League match. But that's just the tip of the iceberg of the dumb shenanigans Twitter had to offer during the last week's regional, because AJ then decided to curse G2 ahead of their matchup on day 2, and I don't mean he was dropping F-bombs or something like that. This man was actually casting spells on his opponents, and I don't even know what to say, because it actually worked. So naturally, he did it again, and this time, they swept their opponents. How is this the current RLCS meta? Is there no rule against cursing your opponents? FaZe then faced G2 in the finals, and AJ decided to calm down with the curses, and they got swept immediately. How is this even real? But with the bracket reset, this was going to be the deciding series. No curses this time, just pure Rocket League. And after a 7-game series that T-Bates wasn't too happy about, FaZe Clan finally won a regional after the very first regional in the fall. I mean, this should have come as a surprise to no one who saw Asphyr's presentation last week, but with that, the last North American regional of the season is over. What even was that? These 5 teams from NA will be going to London in a couple of weeks to play in the Spring Major, and G2 and FaZe are now the first teams to qualify for the World Championship group stage, while NRG will at the very least play in the wild card. Tell me in the comments what was your favorite NA regional this season, and who are you supporting in the major. Moving on to Oceania, where the race for the Spring Major spots between Renegades, Power, and Pioneers was very intense as Renegades defeated Power in the upper bracket semifinals to keep their hopes for qualification alive. Disaster then struck Power as they lost 3 games in a row to Kakas Minions to be eliminated from the tournament and placing their qualification hopes out of their hands. All Renegades had to do was to qualify for the grand finals to beat Power in the spring rankings. They missed their first chance as their defense turned into this in the upper bracket finals game 7 against Pioneers. They then faced Kakas Minions in the lower bracket finals, who I guess woke up that day and chose violence, as they once again ruined their opponent's hopes and dreams as they beat Renegades in game 7 and took him out of the major qualification. Kakas Minions were then told to be ashamed and apologize for their rude behavior by Renegades fans. Pioneers, having already qualified for the major, then beat Kakas Minions in the finals after a bracket reset. In Middle East and no one from North Africa, the Veloce roster finally got their revenge on their former org as they beat them 4-1 in the upper bracket semifinals. But this didn't matter, of course, as Team Falcons then swept Anka and Twisted Minds and then beat Veloce 4-1 and proceeded to absolutely destroy Cola in the finals. And so the Falcons roster won the MENA regional. Haven't heard that before. They're now the first team in RLCS history to win every single regional in a season. They have 1.5 thousand more points than the second place team. Still somehow more competitive than EU this split. Veloce also managed to top 0-1 Esports and qualify for the World Championship wildcard. Gaming Gladiators won in Asia Pacific South again as they beat Meta Power in the finals 4-1. Their record wasn't as impressive as Falcons though, as they only won a measly 8 regionals. That being said, both Gaming Gladiators and Meta Power have now qualified for the Asia Pacific qualified for the Spring Major. And now let's have a quick look at the regionals happening this weekend. These are the teams who will be taking part in the last EU regional this season. Juicers and Gross Noobs will be making their debuts this week, and like I said, if BDS wins the major without losing a single series this split, I will wear a beret for a month. In South America, the clubs opposed opponent in the first round will be Noise. In Asia Pacific North, Tokyo Verde and Detonator are both guaranteed a spot in the Asia Pacific qualifier if they make it to the top 4. And last but not least, in Sub-Saharan Africa, we have this exciting regional where there are no qualification spots left for anything. Former Clip of the Week winner Tristan's team, Perry's agents, have qualified for the tournament though, so let's cheer them on this weekend. But now let's check out some funny Rocket League clips. And by that, I mean let's check out what the community has been up to. He's so good at scoring double taps that he doesn't even need to touch the controller to do it. Spider Slayer X10 scored this absolute screamer in Champ 2 this week. This is exactly like Diamond 2, except in Diamond 2 the uploader would have missed, called his teammate an idiot, and then rage quitted from the game. But otherwise we're pretty much the same. But now it's the moment you've all been waiting for. It's time for a clip of the week. The top 5 were voted on by the members on Discord, so if you want to submit your own clips or influence who makes the top 5 for one of these videos, you can do so on my Discord server, link in the description. But let's jump right into the honorable mentions. Bigrooster scored this double musty in a 2v2 match, and his friend couldn't believe it.
I'm lagging. That's in.
Kiddick's opponent had no chance against this insane 1v1 goal. Showtime scored one of the cleanest team pinch goals I've ever seen. Nikoo scored a goal. What? How would you even describe that? But now it's time to reveal the top 5. These were voted by the Discord members, but there were a couple clips that were tied, so I used my incredible Diamond 2 game knowledge to pick the ones to make the top 5. Oligwin scored this pen the flip reset with a maxed up finish in a 1v1 match. SneakyNarNar scored this triple flip reset in training. Rocket League is a flawless game, which Elemental got to experience this week. Sawhill scored his first Musty Psycho in training this week. And last but not least, we have the most upvoted clip this week. It's another clip from SneakyNarNar, who just couldn't believe that he hit this shot. With this many upvotes, it just has to be the best shot we've ever seen in this show. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the most upvoted clip in Clip of the Week history. But that's the top 5. As always, there's a poll on the YouTube channel, 24 hours, 500 credits, you know the drill. And that's it for this week's episode. Hope you enjoyed it. We're so close to 7,000 subscribers. We might have even passed it by the time you're watching this. But as always, remember to like, subscribe, comment, share. Check out this video or check out this playlist. I've been Anton, and probably still in the future. Follow me on Twitter. I'll see you guys later. Bye.